Hi, I'm Karey Brown with Real Estate 101, and I am here with Tracy Brown, who happens to not be related to me at all, but we share the same last name. Tracy is
Yep.
with American Home Shield. Thanks for joining me, Tracy.
Thanks for having me, Carrie.
So, American Home Shield is a home warranty company that I have been using for 19 years, somewhere around there. That was a long time. I don't
Long
even.
time.
So one of the things I really love about it is because I get to know my reps. Capri, that was here before Tracy, got really close with her, and now we have Tracy, and so it's really nice to have someone that you can talk to, and it's not just a computer. So if I'm running into any kind of issues, I can say, Tracy, help, and it works really well.
I think one thing that helps with that too is having I have a real estate background. I don't know if you knew that or not, but prior to taking this position, I was a real estate agent. So I know the pains and the pleasures that we experience as a real estate agent. So hopefully that helps with the service I can provide to you and your clients as well.
It's very appreciated. Having that knowledge definitely helps because you know that we're not just calling for fun, we're calling because there's a problem. so,
Right.
so home warranties, I've got people that are one side of the fence or the other. Either they hate them or they love them, or they're just like they're a complete waste of money. And they usually are the ones that have the problem and call after the fact. And I'm like, we talked about a home warranty. And all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, will it cover it? And not now, So I want people to understand up front what that means. So a home warranty, let's talk about what it covers. Let's take it if you're in a real estate transaction. Let's go back and look at it. If say you're not in a real estate transaction, but you would like to have that kind of coverage.
Okay. So on the real estate side, we offer three plans. And the purpose, I tell everyone, the purpose of a home service plan, which is how I like to reference it, is to give you budget protection if there is a time when a major service or system or appliance in your home breaks down. So it's to help reduce the out-of-pocket expenses of repairing and or replacing an item in your home. At American Home Shield on the real estate side, we have three options. So different price points and coverage varies depending on which plan that they opt into.
Okay, so let's talk about the things that let's say they decide to get the optimal coverage, so that the highest coverage, the
Shield
cost
Complete.
and what it covers. Yeah, Shield Complete.
In the state of Kansas, the Shield Complete runs $800 for 1 year. That's going to cover your major systems, which is your HVAC, your air conditioner, your furnace, your water heater, some electrical and plumbing, your major kitchen appliances, including your washer dryer. And then it also, this year, we added unlimited refrigerant coverage. So if you have R22 or 410A and you're needing refrigerant for your HVAC, that is covered at an unlimited level as well with the Shield Complete.
Okay, so let's discuss what it doesn't cover.
What it doesn't cover. Contract language is very clear, and that's one thing I love about our company. It is in writing. It just depends on the situation. It has to be normal wear and tear. Okay, so we'll cover something regardless of how old it is, as long as it's in working order at the time you put your warranty in place. And then there are some limitations and exclusions. It varies with every company. And I would certainly be able to forward you the contract language that tells you that those exclusions are, but certainly couldn't explain all of them, over a Zoom call like this. But I would tell you that it's typically normal wear and tear, like I said. And if we come in and we fix a repair, or we try to repair something and it's not repairable, or we can't find the part, we do put it in for replacement. And one thing I think that is a point of difference with American Home Shield is that we do not prorate how old it is. So we're going to ask you your manufacturer's number, or we're going to replace apples to apples. So I think that's an important point of difference with us as well. Another point of difference with our coverage is we cover however many number of units you have in your home as far as HVAC. So if you have a home that has 2 air conditioning units, for example, you only need one policy to cover both of them. And that is not true with some of our competition. So we just have some points of difference. They're all a little bit different in how they work. But normal wear and tear is a big component of whether something will be considered for coverage or not.
One of the things that I like to use whenever I'm explaining to a client the difference between a home warranty and a home insurance policy are things like you mentioned the AC. So AC wise, if someone strips the copper out of it, that is a home insurance. So that's your home insurance policy. If it just stops working, that is your home warranty. So there are different parts and pieces that go into it, like who's going to cover it. But by having both, you're covering yourself usually on most all facets.
Yeah, we're going to cover the actual breakdown or replacement of the item itself, but we do not cover secondary damage. A good example would be a water heater. Let's say, it bottoms out, it floods your basement. Your home warranty with American Home Shield is going to help you replace the actual water heater. And then you would have to call your homeowners insurance to cover secondary damage if you had flooring or tile or something like that that needed to be repaired or replaced.
So that's the reason why you get both, is to help to cover pretty much everything. Now with homeowners insurance, roofs and things like that, the things that you need to look for is, what does your policy cover? It's the same thing with the home warranty. It's figuring out, okay, what does it cover? And do I need to have an extra rider? Roofs, for some reason, well, not for some reason, there was so much storm damage that a lot of insurance companies stopped covering full replacement. And a lot of people don't know that because they haven't really read their policy, or they may have gotten a letter, but they really didn't read it. And it matters whenever it happens. It's not something you notice until then. So the same thing with the home. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. One thing that we added this year too, speaking to roofs, is roof leak repair coverage is something that you can add on to any of our 3 policies. It gives you a $1,500 aggregate. So if you're kind of in the middle where, you haven't had a storm come through, but you're having normal wear and tear, granular loss, maybe your underlayment has started to lift, you have flashings that might need some repair or replacement. Those are items that we do cover with our roof leak repair add-on. And that can sometimes get you by too. But again, if a tornado or some act of God happens or is weather related, that is not considered normal wear and tear. And that's when you would call your homeowner's insurance in order to have that roof repaired or replaced.
Okay, so let's talk about the people that think that it's not worth it. And let's address why they think that. Because what I've found is it isn't the home warranty so much as it is who got sent out. The actual contractor that went to look at it. So I want to debunk this because, I hate that they're standing in the way of something that could help them. So let's just talk to the elephant in the room.
Sure. So the way it works with us, and again, every home service plan company handles things differently, but we actually look for local contractors and we vet them ahead of time. They have a contract relationship with us. Just like Karey, you decide to do business with your real estate brokerage. These vetted contractors choose to do business with American Home Shield. So we have those on our preferred list. We always use local and we assign the contractor. That just saves time. We know they're available. We know they're willing to do warranty work. That's why we do it that way. Another thing to understand is anytime we're talking about what we pay out, because we're so large, we deal a lot in wholesale dollars, So when we're talking about, hey, Karey, I paid out $6,000 last month on an HVAC system for one of your clients, because I do send out those contract cards to agents to let them know that the service is being utilized. We want you to know that we're spending money on you and that people are being paid for that. We always deal in wholesale. And I think that's important to know because I always let agents know your customer, your homeowner would have paid at least 2 times that amount. They would have been double. So that's always something to keep in mind as well when you're hearing these numbers. So for an $800 investment in a 1-year policy, we pay up to $3,000 per appliance, and that's wholesale. We do not have a cap on HVAC. So if you're needing replacement, we do pay out on that. There are sometimes out-of-pocket expenses for a homeowner, but we're going to let them know that at the time that the contractor comes out once we have a diagnosis from our contractor. So, that contract relationship is important. And then we want to hear your feedback. If you're not having a good experience, you need to call me or Karey, and Karey will let me know. And then I report those contract issues, if there are any, to our contract relations manager. And then we take care of that internally. So we definitely have a checks and balances, and we want to know if someone's not having good service. So.
Absolutely. And I tell my clients the same thing. if they aren't getting the results that they think that they should be getting, then I should be the next call, so that I can call Tracy and say, hey, is this how this is? What else do I need to know? How should I explain it? Or should we have this readdressed? So,
sometimes it's just good if you're curious, is this something that's covered? I'm a phone call away, because I can certainly get at least an idea. And then sometimes we need that diagnosis before I can say for sure whether it's going to be covered. But like I said, for the most part, we're here to service our clients. We do not want to not pay. And I try to debunk that all the time. So I'm always available with questions. If anyone would like to contact me directly, you can certainly have them call me as well.
Absolutely. And I can vouch for that, because I've had to call several times, and I say several times, it's not even been that many, but just to say, Tracy, hey, am I misunderstanding something? What's going on? What do you think? And she handles it. So when I say that home warranties are for real, they do want to cover it. I mean, well over 1,000 transactions. I'm telling you that they do. It's just, you have to have faith in the system, and then you have to question if you aren't getting the results that you think that you should be getting.
Right.
Take it up the line.
Understanding how a home service plan works. I think for me in this position, educating people on how they work and when's a great time to call and when's a good time to question things is all a part of that. So budget protection to reduce your out-of-pocket expense, and to understand that it has to be due to normal wear and tear. And if you understand that, that's half the battle. And then other challenges, you can, like I said, certainly call your account manager or Karey. So
let's talk about seller coverage. So whenever you put your home on the market, what does that coverage offer?
Listing coverage covers the seller during the time that the property is on the market until day of closing. We offer up to $2,000 in coverage, and we only cover the essential. So the Shield Essential would give you water heater, some electrical and plumbing, and your furnace and your air conditioning coverage during that time period.
I call it the Murphy's Law coverage. If it's
you definitely want to put that in place prior to inspections too, because we cover non-detectable pre-existing conditions. So if you have anything that pops up with an evap coil, for example, or a cracked heat exchanger, it's something that you can't see with the naked eye. Those are things that could possibly be covered for us or by us. So you definitely want to have that listing coverage in place. Water heaters are another common thing. It seems like you put your house on the market and then something goes wrong, which is what you were referring to, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that would be covered. You don't plan on your water heater going out, and that's a time that you could utilize seller's coverage for sure.
It's like a water heater actually has feelings. It's like it's saying, you know what, I'm just done. Today I'm going to quit, and you're just out of luck, and I might make a mess when I go. So,
that's right.
All right. So let's say your house isn't on the market. You aren't selling it, but you've decided, you know what, I probably should have a home warranty. How does that work?
We have a couple of options. You can contact Karey, and Karey can contact me, and I can offer you our real estate plans, depending on how long it's been since you purchased your home. Or we also have direct-to-consumer plans as well. So that coverage is just a little bit different. I focus on the real estate side and can definitely price shop for you that way. If you want to research American Home Shield on the direct-to-consumer side, you would go to AHS.com to look at that pricing. And it's based on your state and the coverage that you choose. So.
But we're happy to help. So if you want to reach out to either one of us, there will be a link. So do that and let us know. Thank you, Tracy, for joining me and explaining American Home Shield.